Being
are
said, sorry, I don't know why it does that. I
just
wish it would
weird.
stop. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like recorded in progress. So, so what would you like to work on then?
Um, I'd actually like to work on it then, if that'd be
Old
okay.
maid?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So tell
I
me about Letitia.
so I've actually done this role kind of in a little shortened version we did in my
Yeah.
undergrad. So this piece is kind of old for me now.
Okay.
Um, Goodness, she is what a character. She goes. I feel like she definitely goes from urging Miss Todd to going after Bob to like I'm gonna go after myself.
Okay. But tell me who she is, not what she does.
Of course. Um, in the terms of I'm sorry, I'd forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah, generally speaking, we talk about the character in I.
Yeah. Oh God, that's so
So
new for
tell
me.
me about yourself, Letitia.
I I'm the maid to Miss Todd. I clean up her house. I keep it organized. Goodness, there's not enough gossip in this town, I swear. So,
So tell me about the town. Is it a big town? Is it a small town?
it's a
Where is
small
it?
town with tons of gossip. We always have Miss Pinkerton coming over to visit, and yeah, that's her name. I'm not. I mean, I'm correct, I think. And she's coming over, and she's always telling us the gossip around town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's in everybody's business. Miss Todd and I go to church every week. We are involved in the community. Nice figures there. And then Bob comes into our lives.
Okay, well, so I don't want to hear about action yet. I
Okay.
want to hear about who you are. How old are you?
I would say uh, I'm in my 30s, later
Okay.
30s.
Later 30s? All right. How long have you been working for Miss Todd?
I'd say I've worked with for her for about 7 to 10 years.
Okay. What did you do before that?
I worked. This is so hard. I'm trying to think.
Let me ask you, have you read the whole libretto,
I
start to
have
finish?
at one point or another. Yeah, I
Okay.
did. It's been a while.
So as you start to work on this again and refresh it, go back and read the full libretto. I'm assuming it's by Minotti. He usually wrote his own libretti.
Mhm.
Um, and what time period is this set in?
30s, I want to say.
It's
Mhm.
probably in. Are you basing that on how you did it last time?
No, not at all. We did it pretty up to date and kind of free.
Interesting. It's a radio opera. So back when Minotti was writing in the 40s and 50s, he wrote a lot of radio and TV operas. There was actually NBC had its own opera series that it produced live, and things like Britain wrote Owen Wingrave for television, and Minotti wrote a lot of stuff for them for NBC. This was for NBC Radio, but he wrote a lot of stuff for NBC TV. So interestingly, and he wrote it in Italian first, but then translated it to English.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
So this was composed, the premiere was in 1939. So it probably was set in the 30s. Um, that's going to be my guess, around that time period. So you're in a small town in the 30s. So I would encourage you to look up what costumes looked like, what clothing looked like then.
Hmm.
Women typically wore, particularly in a small town, and if it was a rural town, you probably would be wearing, sensible shoes, a skirt and blouse, or a dress that's might even be made out of a flour sack because they did that during that time. Um, Is it an American town?
Yeah, yeah. I've always
Yeah.
pictured it very American.
Is it in the, what part of the country do you think it's in?
I kind of more imagine it. I've imagined it more East Coast,
Okay. So like some little town in Pennsylvania or, or I don't know,
upstate New
someplace
York, something
upstate New
like that.
York, New Jersey, something like that. Um, Probably a little behind the times, probably not too close to a big city. It's not, people weren't as mobile then as they are now. So, and like you said, everybody knows everybody's business.
Mhm.
Okay. So, do you like working for Miss Todd?
Yeah, I would say I enjoy my work with her. It's straightforward, easy,
Do
taking
you
care of
live
her.
with her, or do you have your own place?
Like I live with her.
Okay. So you're probably more of a companion than just a maid.
Hmm.
Yes, you do the cleaning up and everything, but you're what used to be called a lady's companion, because you go places with her and you just basically do whatever she needs done. And you're the only servant, or there are other servants?
The Yeah, the only one.
Who
Yeah.
does the cooking then? Do you do the cooking too?
Hmm.
Yeah, so you do everything. And how old is Miss Todd?
50s or like
Okay.
early 50s, I'd say.
All right. So not that much older than you if you're in your late 30s. I just wonder if, just because of the context of this, if you're closer to your early 30s, which still would have been very much on the shelf. Any woman who's not married in her 20s, or if not earlier, is starting to be in danger of being an old maid,
Hmm.
right? And it sounds like, so you have Miss Pinkerton, Miss Todd, and then there you are, Miss Letitia. You're in a world of old maids, right? You find yourself surrounded by these people. Would you say that you're pretty content with your life before Bob shows up?
I would I would say I'm resigned with my life. I at this point have accepted, all right, this is where I'm going to be. There's no opportunities for me. I'm never going to get out of this town. I've
So are
resigned.
you said you liked your work with Miss Todd, but so overall, are you happy?
Oh, not ecstatically. No, I'm content.
Content? Okay. So
Yeah.
you're not unhappy.
Yeah.
You're not like, would you say that you're a person who needs a lot of things, or you can pretty much be satisfied with your lot in life? You're not, doesn't sound like you're terribly ambitious.
Oh, sounds like me too. Oh no, just
I
kidding.
mean, there are people who are just happy with what they've got, and they don't, it's not being ambitious isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can be somebody who just doesn't need a lot of things to be happy, and who likes being in their own space and likes their little routine. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's what I'm asking, is, does Bob upset the apple cart for her?
Like based on what I know of the ending, now I'm rethinking all of it.
Well, just think about the piece. She's
Yeah.
saying she's saying he won't come on to me, right? Or is he talking about Miss Todd? Is she talking about Miss Todd's coming on to him? Obviously, everybody's coming on to him. Um,
I mean, the initial plan is to have Bob come on to Miss Todd.
but then you say, "Steal me, oh steal me, sweet thief, for time's flight is stealing my youth." She is worried. You are worried about getting old and what comes next.
Hmm.
You don't, in fact, want to spend the rest of your life buying Miss Todd's groceries, and making her soup and what all. It's very passionate music when she sees steal me, sweet thief. Sweet thief. Or is she specifically projecting this for Miss Todd?
No, she's projecting it for herself. She wants to be stolen. I want to be stolen. I
Mm-hmm.
want to run away. And these are the things I want that perchance, I've projected these ideas onto Miss Todd, but now I'm realizing that they're my own ideas. They're what I want.
Right. And how often, I mean, have you ever done that? Because I sure have. Like, in my insecurity, I have encouraged a friend. It's like it's actually a really immature thing, like a high school thing where you really like somebody, but you're afraid and you think that he won't pay you any attention. So you encourage your friend who likes him
Yeah,
and sort of help them make that happen because you just don't trust yourself. It's kind of that thing, isn't it?
a little bit.
And maybe it starts out a different way. I don't know this plot all that well, but I do remember there's some kind of plot to steal Miss Todd's money and run away. Is
Yeah,
that it? And so
Bob is. Yeah.
Bob and Letitia are in on this.
Mm-hmm.
And how does she meet him?
God, here's where now I forget.
Do they meet at church? I mean, he obviously blows into town.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
blows into town. God, I forgot. And we.
pardon me crunching ice.
Good.
I mean, he's not just a thief, is he? He's also like a con artist. Let's see what it
Yes,
says.
a con artist who blows into town, steals the hearts of little old women for their money. Sorry, I have the score. I have the full score here.
So he's done this everywhere.
Yeah.
So Wikipedia says her housemaid Letitia is a young catty eavesdropper who is wary of becoming an old maid like her employer. And Bob comes to her door. He comes to Miss Todd's door
Yeah.
while Miss Pinkerton is there. And Letitia thinks he's really handsome, so she convinces Miss Todd to let him stay. So he's like a bum.
Yeah.
And you convince him to stay by convincing Miss Todd that he's in love with her. But you also fall in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
So Miss Todd is the one who's doing all the stealing, but they're blaming it on Bob.
Yes.
Got it. Oh, and you do end up stealing everything and leaving.
In the end, Bob and I steal everything at the end
Yeah.
and run off with her money.
Right. Although I have a feeling it probably doesn't end happily for you because he probably leaves you in the next town.
Probably.
He probably dumps you in the next town and goes.
Yeah.
All right. So Letitia's really not a very nice person. It says that she just really easily goes through this plan to rob her employer of how many years. But then it also sounds like Miss Todd has been stealing from the neighbors for a while.
No, she only starts stealing for Bob. That's
Okay, for Bob.
Yeah.
All right. So there's an element too, probably, of you justifying what you're doing to yourself. Because after all, Miss Todd is stealing to give money to Bob. And you're planning to steal from her. So you're stealing from a thief, so it must not be that bad. Even though you started it. You started this whole thing.
Yep.
Bob did not initiate any of this on his own. In fact, it's not clear at all that Bob is a thief until the very end. This is one of the interesting things. He's a wanderer. He's like a hobo, and so we don't know for sure that he's the thief.
Mm-hmm.
He's turned into a thief in a way.
Yeah.
So, but he's weak. He's a weak person, and that's why he's easily led by some strange woman he's just met saying, "Hey, let's rob this lady I live with." So nobody in here is a good person.
Nope. No, really no.
All right. So that being said, what's happening when this piece starts for you? Where are you and what are you doing?
Um, well, in the score, it says that I'm mending a pair of his trousers. I am in, imagine, the kitchen or the washroom, mending this pair of trousers, and I'm frustrated. I am completely frustrated that this man has made absolutely no advances onto me or to Miss Todd. Go along with my plan that I've put out here. Um, he has made no advances. He is lazy. All he does is watch TV or talks of baseball, boxing. He just eats, drinks, talks about sports. Kind of sounds like a typical guy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's got it good. You're feeding him, you're doing his clothes, you're doing, he doesn't want to leave. At least
No.
not right now. It's like, better than where he usually stays. And then he gets bored and gets ready to go. So, what happens right before this, though? Is there something that kicks this off, or is it just, we open the scene and there you are having been like fuming over this all day?
Yeah, this scene takes place a week later than the previous scene.
Okay.
Um,
So you're just sitting there going, my God, he hasn't done anything. When is he going to get off his ass and make a move?
yeah.
Okay, great. All right, good. All right, start it for me. Show me what you got.
Oh god. Migrate to the other setting. The track is also kind of garbage, but that's fine.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, there was a whole process there.
No worries.
What a curse for a woman is a timid man. A week has gone by, he had plenty of chances, but he made no advances. Miss Todd schemes and labors to get him some money. She robs friends and neighbors, the club and the church. He takes all the money with a smile that entrances, but still makes no advances. The old woman sighs and makes languid eyes.
Good. Let's stop right there and just work with that part.
Okay.
Okay, so fully appreciating the difficulty of working with a accompaniment track on this.
Yeah.
Just try at this point not to worry about that syncing up.
Okay.
Try to think more. I mean, there's going to come a time when you're able to do this with a pianist live. So, try not to worry too much about that. I'd rather you be thinking about the actual dramatic moments of it. Because you got the instincts for it, but I see you worrying too much about the accompaniment. Okay. So, what I want you to do is, you're sitting there sewing, right? You've been sitting there for a while and you're thinking about it and thinking about it until you just get so exasperated that you have to say something. Right? So you've got that da 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 da. We got to see that build up to the point where you want to say, what a curse for a woman is a timid man. A week has gone by. He's had plenty of chances, but he's made no advances. It can't just be, I'm mad at this guy, I'm mad at this guy, I'm mad at this guy. You're talking out loud to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then and when you talk about Miss Todd, this is a new thought, right? Oh yeah, and Miss Todd is doing all this shit to get money for him, and she's robbing everybody, and he takes all the money. And this was really nice. That was a nice transition when you talked about the smile that entrances.
Mm-hmm.
But then I need another big contrast for, but still makes no advances. Okay, it can remember that the anger can also be, exasperation is different than anger. Exasperation can have almost a humorous quality to it. So find some different levels for that. You can be funny. The old woman sighs and makes languid eyes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that can't be a laugh moment. But it should really be different in tone than what you've said before, because the next thing is big. It's high and it's expansive. All the doors are wide open. All the doors are unlocked. That's big exasperation. And then it comes down to, I don't know what to do with this guy. He neither seems pleased nor shocked. Then you get disgusted, right?
Mm-hmm.
He drinks, he sleeps, he farts. He talks about sports all the time. No one cares. And that is all he does. So let me see the spontaneity of this. Okay. So have you ever had a boyfriend, or do you have a brother or an other kind of man in your life that just annoys the crap out of you from time to time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I want you to think about all the things this person does that irritate you, all the stupid man things that he does. Especially those that are offensive to womankind. They all have those things. Okay. Start it again.
Okay. What a curse for a woman is a timid man. A week has gone by.
Okay, wait, that's a new thought, right? I know you're battling against this accompaniment, but I want to see the build up. And I saw a little bit of it, but I saw one thing happen, but I didn't see anything else, right? It's like I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it. Oh God. What a curse for a woman. I want to see that build up, right? And then the next thing is a week has gone by. That's a new thought. You know what? Like you're talking to a friend. A week has gone by. He's had plenty of chances and he's made no advances. Talk like you're talking to Letitia's best friend, not Miss Todd. There's another maid in town that you gossip with. Tell her what an awful situation this is. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
What a curse for a woman is a timid man. A week has gone by. He had plenty of chances, but he made no advances. Miss Todd schemes and labors to get him some money. She robs friends and neighbors, the club and the church.
Okay, hold on. Stop for a second.
Sorry, keep going.
So I think that once you get going, you have some good ideas about what to do, but I don't see the intention happening. You're waiting to play them until you're already singing the words. And that's not how things happen in real life. In real life, we think about something first and then we say something. And chances are that's reflected on our face. So let's say you're talking and I want to interrupt you. And I would say, listen, Hayley. It wouldn't be you talking. Listen, Hayley.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to, and we've talked a lot about this morning in class and in the different acting classes and stuff. The intention has to happen before the action does, and we have to see it in your face. You have to prep it for us a little bit. The other thing that is going to help clarify what you're doing, because I feel like on the inside, you've got a great idea, but you're not communicating it physically as well as you could. And one of the reasons is because you're shifting your weight around a lot. And the other is because you shift your point of focus. You don't have a clear point of focus. You're looking down. You're not looking, and remember, you have to look into the camera. You have to look up in order to look into the camera.
Yeah.
It's weird. You actually have to look past the person you're actually looking at in order to look in the camera, because otherwise, if you're looking at the person in the screen, then it looks like you're looking down a lot of the time. So, just look a little bit up. So that's one thing, but also remember that on the camera screen, it's a different technique than if you're in a big space. If you're in a big space, then you have a wider range that you can turn to focus. But if you're in a small space like the camera, which doesn't look like a small space to you, you don't need to turn much at all. You can make more subtle movements, because if I go like that, then my attention is completely off screen.
Yeah.
And it looks like it takes us away from you. So whoever your scene partner is, put them straight in front of you or very slightly off. Okay. And then play like that. So whether you're talking to yourself or you're imagining having a phone conversation with your friend. One of the things that might help you is if you think of this as there being like somebody saying, "Oh, really? You're so right. What a curse for a woman is a timid man. Tell me about it." A week has gone by. He's had plenty of chances, but he's made no advances. Are you serious? So you have to keep thinking of those things and reacting to this inner dialogue that you're having. Does all of that make sense?
Yeah.
Big contrasts in the different moments. So what a curse for a woman is one thought. A week has gone by. He had plenty of chances, but he made no advances. That's another thought. Miss Todd's schemes and labors is another thought. He takes all the money with a smile that entrances, but still, that's one thought, but still makes no advances, another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a new thought. The old woman sighs and make languid eyes, blah, blah, blah. All the doors are unopened. Each one of these is a new idea, and we have to see that transition in those moments that comes between. Okay? All right. Start it again. It sounds good in your voice.
Okay. Thank you. What a curse for a woman is a timid man. A week has gone by. Sorry. I thought I had it. Hold on.
That's okay. It's really hard.
I think I wanted also to go a lot faster at that beginning than it was.
Yeah, you need a custom made recording of this for sure.
Okay. Can do this. Da-da-da. What a curse for a woman is a timid man.
New idea.
A week has gone by. I'm sorry. Did you say something?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to stop. I was just trying to tell you new idea.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Don't apologize. It's all good.
Okay.
And that build up now, that's great. I'm totally getting it. It really, the moments that you have before you sing, it's terrific.
Thank you. Okay, let's see if I can redo it now. What a curse for a woman is a timid man. A week has gone by, he had plenty of chances, but he made no advances. Miss Todd schemes and labors to get but still makes no advances. The old woman sighs and makes languid eyes. All the doors are wide open, all the doors are unlocked. He neither seems pleased nor shocked. I did it wrong. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Listen, sweetie, stop apologizing for things that are beyond your control. Okay? You don't have to do that. It's not your fault that the accompaniment doesn't suit you. You're doing the best you can with what you got, and nobody can ask for more than that. Okay? That was really good. The best transition you make is between is when you say he takes all the money with a smile that entrances. That transition there, I totally get every moment of that. And I just think you need to do a little more with that sort of thing with the other transitions.
Okay.
Even ones that are shorter, you don't always have that much time, right? But they're already clearer than they were. I bought all of that. Okay? So, yeah, that was fine. I think you could really have fun with and you did it vocally. The old woman sighs and makes languid eyes. Use those three little bump, bump, bump. Remember, he wrote for the radio. He was writing oral descriptions of the action.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're doing it, use that. I mean, you could just roll your eyes or make a some kind of your vision of the kinds of faces that she makes at him. So yeah, just have a little fun with that. Okay. Then when you go to all the doors are wide open, big contrast there, right? It's high. It's like you're screaming. If you were speaking it, your voice would be louder. All the doors are wide open. Everything's unlocked. Don't be afraid to open your arms all the way. You're doing a little bit of the chicken wing thing, keeping it stuck there. Get them all open, He doesn't say please, the guy doesn't react. I don't know what to do with this, right? Yeah. And then this next music, he eats and drinks and sleeps. It almost sounds like pacing music to me. It doesn't have to be, but that's just kind of what it feels like to me. Unless you're walking around. He does this, and he talks about baseball and boxing, and that is all. Oh, what a curse for a woman is a timid man. Make more of the word timid too. It's an insult, right? Men are supposed to be active. They're supposed to take action. They're supposed to lead, especially in the 30s, So he's timid. It's a way of saying almost that like he's a sissy or he's weak. So it's very insulting, but it's not very insulting. It is definitely, she doesn't know a worse word to say.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like it that he's a timid man. So can you start from all the doors are wide open?
Yeah, let me go back here. I think this is close. Oh, nope, that's not the right one.
It sleeps. Oh well.
Further
Didn't
back.
Didn't go back far enough.
Let's go back to 50. I'm like, it's right in there. I had the timestamps, but not.
I had a friend in college who basically sang this nonstop. She sang it for every studio class ever. So I know the aria really well.
It's a good aria. It's just so much.
It is a good aria. I like Menotti.
I like him a lot. All right, I think this is right. Let's see. He eats and drinks and sleeps. He talks of
Good. I'm going to stop you there. Um, yeah, so I know that there were issues with the accompaniment on that. I know you'll put in a big transition on those notes that come in that change you from being mad to what really thinking about what it is that you're afraid of. Um, and yeah, you want him to steal you, but really it could be any man. You just want a man to come along and take you away from this. Okay, so this is there is an element to this that I think it's hard for young women to understand, and young women are the ones who inevitably sing this. Um, but there comes a time in a woman's life when really everything changes for you in terms of like there's invisibility that happens to women when they hit their late 40s and 50s. I mean, yeah, you might be married then, and with your partner, it's one thing. But as far as just like if you are ever used to getting attention or having men flirt with you or pay attention to you, it stops happening, unless you're like some like knockout celebrity or something like that. Um, there's a hilarious skit that Julia Louis Dreyfus and I'm going to say Amy Poehler, not Amy Poehler. This is maybe it was Tina Fey. These three women comedians are sitting around like having this champagne brunch, and this comedian comes by and she says, "Oh my God, it's Julia Louis Dreyfus, blah blah blah," and they say, "Oh yeah, we're all celebrating Julia's last fuckable day." it's it's this whole thing about this is the last day of her life that she'll be considered worthy by men, and it's hilarious. But there's some truth in it too, and so that I think you can't really see that from the side of youth when you start to get wrinkles and things don't quite work anymore. But the nearest thing I can think of is think back to your body and your skin when you were like 16 or 17.
Mm.
And you may have thought back then that they weren't great, but if you think about them compared to 10 years later, then you realize that maybe your skin isn't as dewy and glowing as it was then, and maybe it's you could eat anything when you were 17 and now everything starts showing up. I don't know, it's just to sort of give you an idea. Whatever your glory days were, they're gone at this point in this aria, and that's what she's worried about. Sorry to depress you with what you have to look forward to.
It's okay. I'm a woman. It's fine.
But that's kind of it's the same thing if you've ever seen Rosencavalier with the Marceline. She's still beautiful. She's still having sex with a man who's 20 years younger than her, but ultimately she lets him go with Sophie because it's the right thing to do, and she thinks those young people should be together. So there is that it's sort of it can be very bittersweet. And that's where she is. She's somebody in a time where she doesn't have many options, in a position where she doesn't have many options. Um, so that's where all of this worry has to come in with this. You have to be really, time steals my youth. That's the truth. Time's flight is stealing my youth, and the cares of life steal time. So I need you to take me away from this, because death is coming before we all know it. It's really depressing. That's Menotti for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then he sets to all this beautiful music. So start this again, start the Steal Me again, and really let us see inside her vulnerability, the part of her where we can actually feel a little sorry for her.
Let me find. I think actually I wrote the timestamp down. That's what it was. Sorry. One second. There it is. I wrote it down. It was in a book. Steal me, oh steal me, sweet thief, for time's flight is stealing
okay, take it down for now. Take it down an octave for now.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
It's the end of a long day and a long 2 weeks. Okay?
Mm.
Do you feel like your larynx is going up? Do you feel tightness here?
It's for me. It's I think the vocal folds not wanting to come together the way they need to right now.
What do your voice teachers say about it?
Usually, it just needs a lot more breath energy. Also, I've struggled. Everything up there's everything from B to C is a.
It's a passaggio. It's a passaggio. I don't care what anybody says. We have three. There's one, maybe more. You know, there's the lower one, there's the middle one, and there's the top one. And I mean, this is not a voice lesson, but I'll tell you what I would try. I would not try more breath energy. It doesn't actually take that much breath. It takes less. Getting your vocal cords to come together. Has anybody ever asked you to whine like a puppy? Mm, mm, mm. That brings your vocal cords together. Okay? Now, there's another thing you can do. I call it the seagull. And I make all my students do this. You can ask Katie Snyder. You go, ah, like a seagull. I know, it's crazy. So what you're doing there is you're singing the high, you're in the high notes, but you're getting those chords to come together.
Yeah.
Just try to make little puppy noises up there. Does that feel like it takes a huge amount of breath to do?
No.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's about support. It's not about the breath. But when you did that, you had no choice but to make your abdominal muscles expand. You felt that little pump you were doing, sort of, right? So that was you engaging those abdominal muscles. And the other thing you might try, and I don't know how you've been taught to breathe or how you've been taught to support, but do you know what your I'm forgetting the names of them are. Well, let's just call them the P muscles because that's what they are. You know when you have to be really bad. Sorry, it's graphic, but it's the easiest way to explain it. You know, you do a little tuck down there. You sort of tuck in those lower muscles, right? The ones that are like right below not below your stomach, but right above your private area. You know what I'm talking about? So try that. Add that when you try the high notes. Ah! Ah! And do that little tuck. Do you feel that extra support kick in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do that, and when you go up, hit the little tuck. Good. Relax your mouth. Just let your mouth fall open. You know, however open you want it to be, but just try to let it. Ah! Ah! Good.
There we go.
That's the right idea. You're a little tired. Your vocal cords are they're not wanting to stay together. I'm not sure that's how long has this been going on?
A couple of years now.
Okay. Like consistently like this?
It happened right before I started my master's. I lost my top. And then
Have you been to a doctor about it?
Yep, I'm fine. I've been scoped. I think it's probably something mentally going on too.
It may be, but I would encourage you to do a lot of little sighs and those sort of the animal things, because that will teach you to bring your chords together without having more pressure than you need to.
I'm just gonna write that down. I forget
Yeah, that's fine. Do the puppy whines, do a lot of sort of sirens, but whine it. Radio dial, stuff like that, because that helps you engage those chords without engaging a lot of pressure. Okay. And the other thing is, do you do a lot of SOVT exercises?
What are those?
Semi-occluded vocal tract exercises, like when you blow in a straw?
Yeah.
Okay. Because those are also very helpful. Yeah. So for right now, just for musical purposes, as you work on this, all of that was really lovely that you did. Um, just sing just sing it down an octave right now,
Okay.
okay? And don't sweat any of that. It'll come when you're ready for it to come. Um, and it's just that one note, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to try it, then what I would try is just don't even try to sing a note on it. I pray, let me da. No, don't try to sing a word. Let me
Okay.
God knows enough Italians do that. Why can't we, right?
They do. Should I start back from somewhere?
Wherever you want. Maybe from and then with furtive step, death comes.
Okay. It's 217. Go. Where? Okay, well that just I had the wrong time. Death comes and steals time and life. Oh, sweet thief, I pray, make me die before dark death steals her prey. Still my lips before they crumble to dust. Still my heart before death must. Still my cheeks before they're sunk and decay. Still my breath before it will fade. Still my lips, still my heart, still my cheeks, still, oh, still my breath, and make me die before death will steal her prey. Oh, for time's flight is stealing my
Okay. Nice. Um, so from a dramatic standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I think until you are able to feel more comfortable both with the accompaniment and the technical things that are happening in that last part, your body is going to continue to sort of telegraph what you're trying to do. But I think you have really good dramatic instincts for it. There was a lot going on in your face in those moments where you did feel comfortable with it. It was very nice. I don't feel like you have to give more there. My main thing for you is to just work on filling in the blanks. Work on making the intentions come to your face. Have the thought. Your character has the thought. I mean, honestly, when I'm out on the stage, I'm not always like deeply into character. I might be thinking, and now she realizes, and I have to project that.
Mm-hmm.
And I practice that. I practice that thinking through what the emotions are going to be right alongside of the vocal technique and where I'm moving on stage. And oh yeah, I really need to look at the conductor there. There's like this constant thing running in your head. So, I mean, it's very difficult. You have to know a piece really well to be able to just like totally lose yourself in it mentally, because we have to stay coordinated with the orchestra and everything. But it's certainly possible to get there. So I encourage you to make a habit of building in the intention as sort of an outer layer, the layer of what the audience is going to see that projects to them what's happening, helps you tell the story. You can still have all that stuff going on, and you will have it going on mentally. But I think very good. And I think it's, maybe this isn't a piece that you want to hammer away on, but I think you're smart to take it out every once in a while and play with it. Good for you for deciding to do that.
Yeah.
So look, I don't want you to walk out of this session feeling bad about anything. You shouldn't. Technique is not, or things that you haven't conquered, it's not a failing on your part. It's not some kind of moral failing. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy or you don't belong. It's just something you have to work on and fix. Right? And so, you just have to hear the right words, and find the right person that can explain it to you in the way that you will understand. Because if there's nothing wrong with you physically, it may be that you're not a soprano who sings the ultra high notes. They do exist. I don't know. I don't know enough about your singing to be able to say that. But, I know there's plenty of even lyric mezzos and a certain type of soprano that, it's called having a short top. So what? It's not about what your voice will and won't do. It's about what you do with what you've got. So tell me right now, what do you do really well?
Mozart, like Zerlina.
Okay. People, does your voice move well?
I think so.
Okay,
I'd like
right.
to think so.
Okay, good. Cecilia Bartoli. She's one of those musicians. She calls herself a mezzo, but who knows? She sings all kinds of stuff like that. She sings a lot of Baroque stuff that doesn't necessarily go super high. I mean, she's not necessarily known for her high notes, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of people out there. So, if Zerlina is what you do really well, then find stuff that's like Zerlina. But I want you to think. I want you to take our day off tomorrow, and I want you to kind of think about what vocal qualities, what does your voice do really well? What is it about Zerlina that fits you? What do people say to you about your singing? Look for that consensus of what people say.
To be honest, I haven't really gotten a lot of feedback, especially
Okay.
not in my master's. I certainly didn't. I felt kind of gypped in that sense, but that's okay.
You're not alone in that. And so what I want you to do is I want you to, every coaching that you have, I want you to speak to every member of the faculty that you work with and say, tell me about my voice. What do you hear? What do you think I ought to be doing? Let them give you feedback, and you may get a lot of different things, but always look for that consensus. Okay? And that'll give you some place to start. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a good actor. That's one thing that you definitely have going in your favor. And all of that stuff that is in all the talky stuff, you do really well, and not everybody does. So your diction is really good, and the stuff that when you weren't worrying, Um, it was very nice. You have a good legato. I think that, I could understand you even on the Fs, which is really good. You're expressive when you sing. If I'm going to offer you some advice, I do think there's something going on with your breath. You don't sound as rooted in your support as you could be, you know. So, who have you been working with on voice here?
So far, I think I've worked with everyone. The
Yeah,
um, Sarah,
Bruce and Andy.
Bruce, and Andy, and I had my lesson with Andy today, and
And how did you like that?
I really liked it. It was kind of, I was going through couple mental blocks that triggered a couple things, but that's just okay.
It is okay. It really is. You're not, all that any of your teachers want is for you to get what you need. Okay? So please don't feel like anybody's judging you. I know it's hard to feel that because it's our job to give you feedback. But remember, it's feedback about your product, not about Hayley, the human being. Right?
Yeah.
So don't take it personally. Remind yourself not to take it personally.
So hard.
And you know what? If you are having a mental block, just say, you know what, I'm having a mental block right now. These voices, the hyenas of doubt are yowling at me right now, and I just need them to shut up so I can get on to the next thing. Let them help you. Okay? Um, you're working very hard. People see that. People know. So I think that my hope for you is that you can let go of this right now and just be and not worry about being judged and not judging yourself. There's a different way to learn all this stuff. And that way is, this is where I am today. This is where my voice is today. It doesn't, nothing else matters. That's just where it is today. Let's figure out how to work with it today. That's my task. It's not a bad thing if I mess up. It doesn't mean I'm bad. It doesn't mean I'm not worthy or I'm not going to have a career. It just means that I have to figure it out. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'd give you a hug if I could. So I'm giving you a virtual hug.
Thank you.
Go have a nice day off.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.